So at the beginning of this year, I decided that I wanted to track a few different things from the beginning of 2025 to the end of it, just to kind of see what had changed. Because I feel like when I look back at previous years, my life did change pretty drastically, but you don't really notice it just because, you're living day to day. And so it's hard to notice that over such a long period of time. And so one of the things that I wanted to track was the amount of clothes that I have, because I think it goes without saying that we as Americans have far too many clothes. And it's not just clothes, and I'm not going to get into the details, but there's just more stuff than we know what to do with. And so this year I wanted to kind of monitor the amount of clothes that I have and try to actively make changes to improve my situation when it comes to the clothes that I have. I'm already rambling too long, so there are a few things that I was keeping in mind. First off, I want to make sure that the clothes that I have in my closet are clothes that I actually enjoy owning and wearing. Second off, I also want to make sure that all of the things that I buy and purchase this year are things that are actually going to be worth purchasing. And finally, I just feel like physical clutter definitely takes up mental space. And so even though I've been lucky enough to have decent sized closets in the spaces that I've lived in, that doesn't mean that I want to fill it up. And that doesn't mean that I need to keep all the clothes that I have just because my closet is big enough. So at the beginning of 2025, I started with 405 articles of clothing. And just to give you some context, I counted everything. I counted hats, I counted belts, I counted the one muumuu that I have, I counted all pajama pants, literally everything. So I wanted to just really get an all-encompassing look of what are the amount of things that I could put on my body given any situation. And if I'm remembering correctly, I believe that I started the year saying that I wanted to ideally get down to 250 articles of clothing. And I haven't counted them yet, but I don't think that we reached that goal, quite frankly. And there's a few reasons for that, and I'll get into that later, I guess. But I definitely think I downsized, but not as much as I had initially intended. Starting number for 2025 was 405. The ending number ended up being 331. So to give you some context at least, some of the numbers for what I started the year with. I started the year with 34 pairs of shoes. I started the year with 127 short sleeve shirts. That includes t-shirts, the polos that I have, tank tops, anything that isn't long sleeve. I started the year with 20 long sleeve shirts, 34 pairs of shorts, 70 pairs of socks. Yeah. 30 pairs of pants and 24 jackets. And so ending the year, this is me realizing that I missed probably 5 pairs of shoes that are in one of the suitcases in the back of my closet because I never wear them. I'm not grabbing that right now, but we'll add 6 to the shoe count. So adding 6 to the shoe count means that we're adding 6 to the total. So instead of it being 331, it's actually 337. For shoes, started with 34. Now we'll say I have 33. It might be the same. I definitely donated some shoes and I definitely got some new. So we'll just call it a wash. 35 pairs of shorts is what I ended the year with. 28 pants, 97 short sleeve shirts, 21 long sleeve shirts, so that was almost even, 22 jackets, and then 46 pairs of socks. So Some of those are much more digestible than 127 shirts or 70 pairs of socks. Not quite what I was hoping for, but even still, I think after this video, I am going to go through. There are a few things that I definitely can donate. So realistically, I will probably end the year with slightly less than what is currently stated. And I may have missed one or two things, but ultimately, I believe I counted literally everything. So that should be a pretty accurate number. I guess you could call these excuses, but I did come up with some reasons as to why things happened the way that they did. First and foremost, if you know me, I will always be wearing a 5-inch inseam exercise short. That's just what I feel most comfortable in. I have decent legs. Sure, I show them off. Sue me. Sue me. But I know that that's what I look good in, so that's what I want to wear. And I like to buy them new just because they are exercise shorts and some of them have like the built in underwear. So I would just prefer to buy it new. But I do like to get them discounted. And so the clearance store that I normally go to had a lot of them this year that were heavily discounted. So I did buy more of them. But I've owned some of these shorts already for 4 years now, and they're still in great condition. So I was just adding more to the collection, and now I should be good and I shouldn't have to purchase any for the next 5, 6, 7, 8 years, quite frankly. So I did purchase a few of those, but they should be like long-term investments in that sense. The next thing is I did expand my work wardrobe quite a bit, but I'm trying to develop some staple pieces that should last me quite some time. And also, I just do want to have a decent variety of the clothes that I wear to work. Nothing that I purchased this year was firsthand for work. Everything was secondhand. Everything was thrifted except shoes. But outside of that, everything was secondhand. And everything, there was a reason for it. Like, I don't remember if I got this at the beginning of 2025 or the end of 2024, but I wanted something that was not necessarily a sweater, but like a longer sleeve thing that I could wear that wasn't just a standard button down shirt. I wanted to get a few different colors of shoes that I could match with various belts and shirts. And I wanted to try to get a pant in a lot of colors. So a brown one, a gray one, a black one, a blue one, khaki, etc. So I did expand my work wardrobe quite a bit, but I'm not mad about it because now that it is expanded, I should be pretty good from here. Something else to keep in mind is that this year I really developed the mindset of like using things until they cannot be used anymore. The thing that comes to mind when I'm referring to this is especially socks. I have a few pairs where there's a hole near the toe, but that doesn't inhibit my ability to wear the sock. Is it slightly uncomfortable sometimes? Sure, but that sock is still usable. So I'm going to continue to use it until there's, a much bigger hole at the heel or at the ball of the foot or something like that. Seems gross, I know, but I don't really care because I don't need to replace that sock yet, so why should I? So I'm glad that I ended the year with less clothes than I started with, but I don't necessarily think that I need to be proud of the way that I purchased or shopped this year because I've always been a pretty frugal person and fashion has never really been a big thing for me to enjoy. I do like wearing different things and there's certain, fashion styles and choices that I enjoy, but that's not something that I actively normally choose to pour money into. So it's not like I shopped less this year. If anything, I just did try to do a little bit of a better job of making sure that I'm buying secondhand and being actively conscious of purchasing things that I know will be worth it. Additionally, it is also just disgusting how much we do own. Obviously, I don't want to be Steve Jobs and wear the same thing 5 or 7 days a week, but I don't need all the clothes that I still do have. But my other issue is that I don't necessarily think that donating them is the best option in terms of like the circle of life when it comes to textiles and clothes and all of that. Because, yeah, I could go to my local thrift store or I could go to Goodwill and go and donate some of the clothes that I don't need anymore, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to get purchased because I've heard at least that a lot of Goodwills get more donations than they know what to do with. And even if they do get purchased, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to get used more or used in a better way. I think what the name of the game is for me and what it should kind of be for a lot of people in general now is use what you have and use it until you can't really use it anymore. Because I could donate these clothes, but I don't think that that's necessarily the best use of these clothes. I would rather just use them myself. And then once I've deemed that they can't really be used anymore, I can repurpose them in some way or just throw them out because they're at the end of their life cycle. So yeah, I don't know if that made any sense, but essentially from here, I think it would be better for me to just not purchase anything new over the next few years and just continue to use what I have rather than donating some and then, getting an urge if I go to a thrift store or anything and thinking, oh, well, I don't have a shirt that's that color, so maybe I should get that. Where if I just keep what I have, that would help me be less inclined to purchase new in the upcoming months and years. I don't know if that makes sense, but it makes sense in my head at least, where if I keep what I have, it'll encourage me to purchase less and therefore stop the cycle of just purchasing and purchasing and donating and purchasing and purchasing and donating. All right. Along those lines, and then I'm done. I promise I'm done. Following along the whole concept of just using what we have, I think we additionally need to play to our strengths and also just we need to be more individualistic when it comes to our fashion choices and everything. I'm not saying that everyone needs to be bold with what they wear and, try to find a different style that hasn't been done before. But if you know what works for you, why wouldn't you just play to that? I don't care if barrel jeans are in style. I don't care if there's a new shoe of the summer every goddamn year. If you like a certain shoe, just wear it. If you like a certain style of clothes, just wear it. The 5-inch inseams. Yeah, were they a big thing in 2022 and 2023? Yeah. Are, knee length jorts a little more in style now? Definitely. I don't like how knee length jorts would look on me. I don't think that's flattering for my, body and everything. So therefore, I'm not going to buy them and I'm not going to wear them. And I'm still going to wear the 5-inch inseam shorts because that's what I'm comfortable in, even if they are out of style at this point. On top of the 5-inch inseams that are out of style, I also have a pair of checkered Vans that are 8 years old. I got them sophomore year of high school at the beginning of the year, so I was 15 at the time, and I'm 23, almost 24, and I still have them and I still wear them. Are they out of style? Yes, they've been out of style. They're a thing of the pre-COVID times, if you will. But I've always been decent about not trying to scuff my shoes up too much and making sure that I keep them in decent condition. So I still have them and they're still worn, but they still work. There's not crazy holes or anything. Once, the sole falls off, I'll get rid of them. But right now they're my gym shoes. I wear them every single morning. Do they look as good as everyone else's shoes in the gym? No. Does the rest of my outfit look as good as everyone else's in the gym? No, because I'm not buying Young LA and Gymshark and all of these other brands. But that doesn't matter to me. Do I think about it a little bit? Yeah, because the current demographic of the gym that I go to is definitely people in their younger 20s. Essentially, just because something's out of style doesn't mean that you need to stop wearing it or get rid of it. Gym doesn't necessarily need to be a fashion show. I think that look good, feel good is a great thing, but I don't think that your shoes necessarily determine how good you look or feel. And so, therefore, if you have an older pair of shoes, you can continue to wear it. You don't need to get something new just because somebody online told you to do so. And I think that that's something that we all collectively could be a little bit better at because in the age of social media, obviously we see all these things online and, oh, you need this and this is a must have. And oh my gosh, what do I need in order to do this? Who cares? Be your own person. Decide something for yourself. You don't need to just listen to the opinions of people online that you don't know and you don't technically trust when you can just go off of your own knowledge and what you think and feel would be right. Now I'm done. My apologies. Thank you for watching if you made it this far. I'm filming this at the very beginning of December, and so technically I could get some clothes for Christmas, but my immediate family, we decided to not do gifts this year since we all have stable jobs. We all have enough money to where we can just buy things if we need. So in theory, I shouldn't really be getting that many clothes. If I do, it would be very negligible. It would just be 1 or 2 polo shirts or something like that. I'll probably continue doing this just because it's pretty simple because all I have to do is count everything at the beginning of the year and end of the year, so it doesn't take that much time, and it's not something that I need to consistently work at. But we'll see, because even though I have the numbers of I started with 405 and I ended with 331, it doesn't mean much. Obviously, I broke it down still, but it's more a matter of, I guess, just looking at what you have and realizing what you have in drawers that you don't normally open and everything. Because it's not like I open up my closet and I look at a shirt and I'm like, where did that come from? Because I'm at least aware of all the clothes that I own. So, anyways, there are quite a few other things that I tried to track this year. Some of them being the amount of times that I ate out at In-N-Out Burger. as well as just the amount of coffee that I drank throughout the year and things like that. And so that will be the next video, I'm thinking. But that one should be a little more fun because it's going to be a little more all encompassing on how the year went in general and not just the clothes that I own. So stay tuned for that. But otherwise, thank you for watching, and I will see you soon.